The American-based company Monsanto, which produces pesticides and genetically modified seeds, was given its marching orders on Saturday, May 25th, as countries all over the world gathered to protest against the company. In Townsville, people came together to express their concerns about Monsanto getting too much control over the world's food production and the impacts it is having on farmers, the environment and people's health.
We shouldn't be letting multinational companies like Monsanto, who basically make poisons and chemicals, have a chance to dominate our agricultural system. And how they're doing that is they're actually trying to lock farmers into a system of agricultural production which involves using their particular seeds. But the seeds that they're using, they don't last for generations like seeds should, and you can't gather them to harvest for next season. Essentially, you need to use Monsanto products to actually allow them to germinate for the next year and to the plants to continue growing.
Rebekah Wolf from the Food for Thought initiative says it's difficult for Australian farmers to keep their crops GM and pesticide free because of the pressure of meeting cosmetic standards and also from cross-contamination.
And there's a lot of test fields further up north where different genetically modified varieties are trialed, which is very dangerous if you're thinking about cross-contamination. You don't know what those mutations are going to do to areas, to farms, to other plants around it, and that means also organic farms could be polluted by that. And what Monsanto has done in the past is suing farmers for having their crops on their ground, although they've never purchased it, which is due to that cross-contamination. And there would be a lot of farmers that don't want that to happen to their much more valuable crops. And so there's quite a threat actually to farming in Australia.
Protesters are also concerned about the impacts GMO products are having on their health and called on the government to introduce stricter rules on food labelling. Local artist and Monsanto protester Garth Yankovic says his health improved dramatically while living overseas in Serbia, where a lot of the food was organic and locally grown.
And everything I ate was from within basically a 5-kilometre radius. There was no insecticides, pesticides, it was all homegrown in little fields, in villages, etc. And the protein I ate was from chickens that were not manufactured or genetically modified. The same with the veggies, nothing had anything genetic modification in there. And I just found myself just feeling totally different.
Organisers of the march say they want to spread the message that organic produce is sustainable, but consumers are the ones that need to initiate the change from genetically modified products to organic produce.
Ideally, something has to happen. There has to be some sort of revolution, and this is the kind of thing that starts it. People have to first become aware. There has to be a communication line and supporting, your organic farmers, and so that we can eat food that's from here.
If every consumer would make a different choice, for example, would go to the shelves and would choose the smaller organic produce, for example, that would allow farmers to actually produce organic and to actually have people buying it. So the consumer is actually the one that maintains the power of Monsanto. As consumers, we can completely change things.
We say no to GMO!
Rebekah Smith reporting the tropics for JCNN.